Hello and welcome to this week's episode of the MFL Ramble. I am joined as always by Hoodwink. We're only 2 minutes late today. We had a few problems with Hoodwink's audio, so he's not using his normal mic and using internal mic on laptop now. So we're praying that the audio is a little bit better than it was last week. Any issues? Just give us a shout. Please say, shout out. The only way we'll know. We don't want to have the same issue that we had on the SoRare Ramble last week, where someone drops their connection and then we have a blank spell with me and Ryan sitting around not saying anything for like 10 minutes while Bullstar goes on a ramble that nobody could hear. But anyway, apparently it's echoing really bad when I speak.
You were blaming me and it's your fault.
Is it still echoing now? For fuck's sake. Is it really bad echo? Honestly, no idea what to do, but it's pretty bad. Oh, for fuck's sake. Stream settings. I can't change that. Can't change that.
Just to make sure it's no still me, I'll mute for a second.
Okay, with Hoodwink muted, is it still pretty bad? I should really keep speaking, shouldn't I? Otherwise, you're not going to bloody tell. But yeah, I don't know whether... No change. Okay. No idea what to do. Hoodwink is echoing too.
Let me try muting my mic.
I've got it up on my phone. I've just put it on my phone and it doesn't sound like it's echoing.
Oh, doesn't it?
Nah. Weird.
Ryan Walter, you sure it's not your speakers? Look, let's keep going. If it is really bad, then we're just going to have to we'll have to stop. But I'm praying. Yeah, okay. White House saying sounds fine on his phone as well. Okay, that's strange. Okay, look, we'll keep going anyway. But welcome to the MFL Ramble this week. As ever, I'm joined by my able-bodied co-host, the glorious and gorgeous Hoodwink. How are you this week, mate?
Hello, I'm good, thanks. I'm good.
Nice.
An echo.
It is when you're pretending to echo now to try and annoy people, but yeah. And obviously it's Wednesday. It's the final day of the MFL League season. There's some big matches tonight. And I don't think anybody on the platform has a bigger match than the guest that we have on this week. And that is Sid, who manages a number of teams. And as you'll see on the screen, we've got Sid. And within that, he has a number of clubs. And one of them is Los Galacticos. And Los Galacticos tonight have a massive game against Black MFC in Platinum League 2, both on level points. Black has a slightly better goal difference, but win or bust. Sid, how are you feeling, mate? Welcome to the show first.
Thank you. Pleasure to be on the pod today. Yeah, no pressure at all. So I'm looking forward to it. I was trying to phase out completely yesterday, but ended up running a few friendlies as usual. But yeah, looking forward to the try. I mean, it's a virtual knockout to Diamond right now. Black definitely has an advantage with the goal difference, so even a draw is going to put him through. So it's either go all in, win the tie, get into the Diamond, or wait for another season perhaps, depending on how the playoffs turn out.
And do you have any nerves? I know it's only a game. I know it's a game in the metaverse and, it's not real, but I get nervous over my games.
I think I'll get nervous when it gets close to the game time or kickoff for sure. As of right now, I'm just relaxed. I mean, I haven't set up my tactics yet, haven't thought through it in terms of am I resting some players, getting ready for playoffs just in case. So all of that still needs to be thought through. Need to iron out a few details. But as of right now, I think I'm okay.
Nice. Well, we'll come on to sort of talking about your journey anyway in a bit. But I thought we'd start off with probably the biggest game of the day. I've got a big game as well, and I'm sure many of the listeners and people that play MFL have got big games, whether that's deciding promotion, relegation, or just trying to ladder up to try and get a little bit more MFL for reward day and opening packs next week. But let's talk about quickly how our game weeks have gone, and then we'll move on to some sort of other stuff. Hoodwink, how's it going with you, mate? So you've got Edinburgh Castle trying to avoid relegation. I've been trying to steal one of your players already in advance for next season. I DM'd a guy who Hoodwink has a CDM on loan from that would look great with the Magic next season if we get promoted to silver. And yeah,
filthy pig. I'm getting relegated. Like it's almost certain. I play top of the league, who has got a good team. I'm on 21 points. The team in 9th for the relegation playoff place, they play 10th. So I need. What do I need?
A miracle.
I need a miracle. But so if I finish on 24 points, I would need.
You'd need them to draw, because then you would have a better goal difference.
Aye, if they draw, I'd miraculously stay up.
Yeah, well, you wouldn't stay up in the relegation thing.
Playoffs, yep.
Yeah.
If one of them wins and I win, I'm not going to win.
You are playing top of the league, I suppose.
I've had some good results though. I've had some really good results, so you never know. But if one of them win and I win, I could get to the relegation playoffs. But I'm pretty certain I'm not going to beat this team. But you never know.
And you're playing Real Senegal, who is owned by, and I'm sorry, I'm going to absolutely pummel your name because I pummel most names, and that's Murillo. Murillo? No? Is that right? I don't know. Molinho. Yeah, we'll go with that anyway. Maybe a little Brazilian. But anyway.
They're a wee bit fatigued. There's a few in the, a couple, his 89 rated striker is only at 91%, so you never know.
He may not play them. He may give if I was him, I'd give squad players a go because, you've probably maxed the match XP for the players, your main players that have been playing all the games. You want to give backups a go. I've been doing that with one of my teams that's been promoted for about 3 days.
He's got a few commons. He might throw them in for a laugh. You never know.
Yeah.
Has he sealed the title?
Yeah.
Oh, by
8 points is ahead.
8 points ahead.
Yeah.
So,
if I was him, I would give game time to other players. But I'm not saying do that. Obviously play the game your way.
But you never know. Maybe a miracle. It would be a miracle if I did stay up. But I've had some. My results have been pretty decent. I got a win and a clean sheet a couple of days ago. A couple of defeats in the games before that, but a 0-0 draw.
Oh, your CDM suspended tonight.
Aye, but that he's
played his last game for you before he transfers over to Monkey Magic.
He's been really good as well, actually. He's been really good. But
I think Nathan actually might want to keep him because I think I can't remember all of his teams. He's the sweet ones, isn't he?
So he's in my league. He's in Sweet Santiago, I think.
Yeah. Most of his teams are called Sweet. I'm playing him tonight, actually. My title decider as well is against one of Nathan's teams. So, Nathan, he could scupper my plans and you could get relegated anyway. So, but I've managed to rest all my best players. Obviously, last season, my biggest transfer in last season was, let's go to my HQ, was a young man. Taking a while to load. called Michel Collin. And where did I sign him from? Sign him from Sid's. And he's been absolutely brilliant. Like, you promised me, Sid, that he wouldn't get the relegation icon last season, and he didn't. Are you going to promise me he doesn't get it again this season?
Not this season. Now that you brought him from me, I cannot promise anymore. But fingers crossed that he doesn't get the dreaded exclamation mark next to his name.
Yeah, no, it's going to be like rollover is always absolutely ball ache, isn't it? Like, you know, you just, especially when you've got some older players, as I like to collect. But this season, he's had a cracking season. He's +2. He's leading goal scorer in the league. So I couldn't have asked for any more. You know, he's got me promoted back into, or hopefully back into silver. If he can just grab a couple of goals tonight, job's a good one. But yeah, I think that literally is my main match that I've got going tonight. There is no other sort of games where I can really move position. So I'm currently on 41 points. Sal Craigie are on 41 points. Bottom feeders Ronan's side are on 40 points, and AFC Dutch Pro are on 38 points. And in theory, all of us could still win the league. And I've been down this road before. But yeah, it's going to be fun. But all of the other leagues for me, I'm either locked into sort of seconds or firsts. And Monkey Thunder are the only one that aren't second or first. So yeah, won the cup yesterday. Vito doing the business, still having lots of offers. So yeah, it's going to be a fun season. Going to be a fun end to the season. But Sid, what about you? Because you've got a lot of teams, haven't you? To start off with, before we go through your stuff, tell us a little bit about yourself. How did you find MFL? How long have you been playing it?
So I believe I started in November, and honestly, I've been trying to think, how did I get looped into MFL, and I couldn't point out a source, to be honest. It could be through Ramble, or it could be one of the Quinny streams as well.
Yeah,
but
Quinny
yeah, I
started doing
right.
the deadline stream and mentioning it in there about November, because that's when I joined. And I was thinking about joining anyway, and he just reminded me to sort of give it another look. But
yeah, it could very well be that. It was end of November, early December, which I think was season 2. So yeah, I kicked off my journey in December, and my intent was, let's get a bronze license, because the ratings around the bronze leagues seemed viable for me to get into. So the idea was, let's get a bronze license, try to build it up to a mid-table gold team, and try to sustain it there. And obviously, it has taken a turn for the better. So I'm in plat now, and hopefully can sneak into diamond. But yeah, that was early doors, and squad building was really fun.
so what, when you like bought in, like, which was the original team? Sorry.
So this was Los Galacticos, actually. So that was.
What division did they start in?
It was in bronze and S2.
Wow, so you've had quite the ride getting promoted. Yeah. Season 1, they were in iron. They got promoted. I assume you took over season 2. You won bronze immediately. Second in silver. Then went up the next season. Was that the season where you knocked me out? No, that was a different team. That was Castilla.
Yeah, that's Castilla, I guess.
Yeah. And then, you won the Elites Cup last season. Oh, no, that was a couple of seasons ago.
That was season 5, yeah.
Yeah. Wow, that's impressive. Yeah, and then obviously round of 16 this season, and then the big story is you're second in the title. Like, where were you predicted at the start of the season to finish?
This team was predicted, or projected rather, to finish 5th in my league. And I believe there were, I'm not sure if this takes into account the mid-season transfer window acquisitions as well, but yeah, the ratings were projected for me to finish. Is it? Yeah, it is 5th. Correct.
Yeah, you've had a brilliant end to the season, obviously sort of rattling in. Do you look back on some of the games like the BFC Manchester game and the GTA Ontario game, and like because if you'd won those games, it could have been like in your favor tonight, and the draw could have been good. Or do you just like move on, focus? Right, I know what I need to do. I just need to win one game.
Yeah, it's more of the later. It's definitely take it one game at a time. And again, I mean, Black was supposed to, or he would have easily sealed the title last match day as well, and he ended up losing a close game. So that opened up a door. So yeah, I mean, if I look back at it, there could have been a result or a couple of results which could have easily swayed my way. But again, I mean, that is normal variance. That's what MFL is about. So yeah, not really fussed that those results didn't go my way. Just looking forward to what's in store for this evening.
And I'm sure you're not going to tell us. I don't know whether Black will have listened to the show or just listen to the show, but you don't want to give away your tactics. But yeah, I can see now that you've got a quandary that a lot of managers will have this evening if they're sort of like fighting for the title. Is do you play your best guys? I can see your goalkeeper's on 91%. That's probably just about passable for a game tonight. But then, if he drops to 90, 89 for the first round of the playoffs, what do you do then? And, I guess for me, I've always just taken my shot, gone for it. Whatever happens, happens.
Yeah, it's definitely a coin toss for me at the moment. I mean, funnily enough, I had a strong second goalkeeper in the squad that I ended up moving to my silver team during the mid-season window. I believe he is 89 rated right now. He got a progression a couple of days back that shot him up to 89. I think he was 87 when I transferred him over. Now I'm left to maybe regret the decision. Maybe I should have just kept him here for a game or two. That would have definitely come in handy.
It's funny, isn't it? Because you sort of make these decisions mid-season. Like often you move players, especially to sort of teams that are in the cup, and like you think, okay, they've got a solid chance in the cup. I'm going to sort of stack that team and try and go for it. And I've done that a couple of times, and it's sort of backfired, and I've ended up losing games then based off it. But you have to take your shot, don't you? But let's talk about your other teams anyway. Obviously, you've got the big game tonight, so you've got Castilla, who are in silver. They are in Monkey Magic's flight. So if I do get promoted this evening, then I will be joining you again. And you're a bit of a bogey team for me as well. I remember the season when I was sort of looking like I was going to win the title, and then you had a crazy second half to the season, just like winning pretty much every game. And I just couldn't beat you. I think I was the only team you dropped points to the first half of the season. Then you beat me again, like final game of the season, and I dropped down to the playoffs. I ended up getting promoted still, but yeah. And then obviously you were in my cup group again this season as well. And then I made the complete spanner of a decision to rest all of my guys against you in the first game because I couldn't decide what to do, and got absolutely spanked. And that's what knocked me out of the cup as well. So yeah, I'm not doing particularly well against Castilla. It's like you and Jimbo are really my bogey teams. Like Jimbo, I can see he's in the stream as well. But yeah, his Wensome Wyverns, I just cannot beat as well. But maybe if they get promoted in the playoffs and I go up, we'll be playing each other. All three of us will be playing each other again next season. That will be fun. But what were your expectations for Castilla this season?
I think Castilla is one of the underperforming teams for me this season. Just couldn't figure out a reason why. I mean, setup wise, tactics wise, been playing around a bit, maybe a bit more than what I should have done. So I think they were projected to finish second, and right now I'm sitting in fourth position there. There's still an outside chance of making it through to the playoff spot. I believe I'm 1 point behind the third spot there. But again, I mean, defensively, they've been horrendous. And that's part of the reason why I had to move my second goalkeeper to Castilla mid-season. They did go through into the cup round of 16 knockouts, but ended up losing there very badly. And the last few games have been okay, but it's been really inconsistent with regards to conceding 4 goals in a game or beating teams like 5-1 or 6-2. So
yeah, you've had some crazy
wild ride.
Like you had a 7-0 win. I guess that was against the bottom team, but you are on a 5-win streak, so not too bad. And I guess win tonight, you could still be in the playoffs.
Yes, I do have a goated striker in that squad as well. Gurgley, I think he's leading the league for Golden Boot as well. So he's kind of been carrying me. Part of the reason why I had to let Colin go. Yeah, I mean, win today, playoff spot, and still an outside chance. I mean, finishing third isn't great with regards to the road to gold. But again, I mean, still an open a chance and take a best shot at what's available at that point, I guess.
Yeah. I guess this season, if you finished where you're finishing right now, would you count this season as a success?
With Castilla, I think so. Yes, I do have some reinforcements already lined up for next season. So even if I finish second, I mean, it's not really. I wouldn't call it a disaster per se. I mean, one spot below the projected rating. Yeah, it's fine. I think I could really push for gold. Hopefully, next season with the couple of lots that I've already signed into the agency.
Yeah, I can see you've done a bit of business over the last sort of week. In fact, you've been a busy boy over the last week, haven't you? Because we're not going to spend too long talking about SoRare, but you were involved in the one of rare Mbappe and Real Madrid auctions. So you have had a busy week, haven't you? But yeah, I'm just looking at some of your signings on MFL. Like you've got a couple of guys that are coming in for next season who look pretty sexy. So Avia, 93 rated centre back, looks pretty solid. Henkel, another guy you've brought in, right back, 89 rated. You've been a busy boy. Is there more plans, more signings coming?
I think I'm close to being done. I saw these as market opportunities mostly, which would really help plug some of the holes in the current squad. So yeah, I mean, Avia, I think automatically becomes my best center back, both in the agency and in the plat squad as well. And the right back, Henkel, I have a major gap there with Galacticos. So I look at the statistics of my current right back, the lad is just getting turned into like every single game is getting dribbled past a dozen times. So that was one thing that I had to address. So I found this guy who's not great yet. I mean, his overall is good, but pace and defense is not up to snuff. But again, I mean, he's really young, and I'm hoping within the next season or a couple of seasons, he'll be plat ready.
Yeah. Yeah, 89, got decent pace, decent dribbling, 90 passing, 89. Yeah, I mean, he's solid across the board, isn't he? Sort of, he's got 60 shooting as well. So, he's the kind of guy that can get forward and, he can play multiple positions, which obviously is great when you're sort of putting squads together for next season. What about your other teams? We're not going to go through all of them, but what are your sort of highlights from some of the other teams?
So I mean, just three more teams basically, right? So I got Los Blancas who play in bronze. That's Kev's league as well. Shout out to Kev. So Dandy's been pushing for third, and I'm currently sitting in second spot right there. And that squad is doing really well. It was projected to finish fifth, currently in second and just 1 point behind the leader. So there's definitely a possibility of getting promoted there. And then two other Spark teams. I mean, both of them were projected to finish third and fourth. One is 1 point ahead in the top of the table. The other one is in fifth position right now.
Nice. Right. Let's talk about some of the stuff we want to speak about this week. So we want to speak about how we go about building squads for next season. Obviously, like contract pre-agreements are now open. So, if you haven't got your offers turned off, then you've got a collection of good players, I imagine you're starting to get spammed with offers. I saw the first couple come through and immediately turned off offers for all of my players because I don't really like doing business before before rollover day. But people are planning for next season. and that planning will only increase after rollover day. So obviously we've got the playoffs this weekend, rollover day next Monday, and then all chaos will break out on Tuesday. We're going to be buying packs, we're going to be ripping packs, and we're going to start to build our squads. Hoodwink, how do you go about it? I know you're a bit more of a planner, aren't you? Like, you like to get your sort of like pre-agreements done with your squad. I've noticed that you've already started setting some of them up. How's that going? And has that always been your sort of way of doing it?
So like I've set up my 3 teams already. I think I've got like 1 space or something like that. But I'm trying to learn from previous mistakes, which is why I wanted to talk about it, because I don't know. I think I got it wrong last season, and when I was planning again, I'm thinking I'm getting it wrong again so far. So I do like to plan it, and like as soon as pre-contracts are kind of open, I'll set them up and I'll get my squad ready. And I know we've still got like the pack drop and stuff like that, so it's not like it's the finished article. So I'll get my rewards and see if I can upgrade wherever. And if I stayed in silver, which, as I say, I'm probably not going to, but if I did stay there, I would need loans as well. Like, I'm not going to, I'd struggle again if I just kept what I've got. But the main thing was, like, I've noticed, like, probably all 3 of my teams, actually. Like, Livingston is a perfect example, because they're in Spark, it's a really good team. But because I was trying to be flexible, which I'm not very good at having different formations and that kind of thing, I like to stick to one that I know. And I've basically set up for a 4-2-3-1 and a 4-1-2-1-2. But because I thought I was going to switch between them, I had 3 CDMs and 3 strikers. But I've went with like 4-1-2-1-2 almost every single game. So my 3 strikers just rotating between them is almost fine. But there's there was a game a couple of games ago where I thought, right, my main guy is Sean Carr, my wee progression monster. I had to rest him, and I thought I was playing quite a good team. So I thought I didn't want to play my guy. Mother Striker's like a 58 rated or something like that. So it's quite a big downgrade from a 70. He would have been 72 at the time. So I went with 4-2-3-1 and I ended up drawing 2-2. So just because I didn't have that depth for my strikers, for like quality depth, and I've loaned so many out that I could have used. Like, I've got like quite a few like 65 to 70 rated strikers loaned out that would have been perfect for that kind of fixture where
it's quite a drop off, isn't it? Like, you go 73, 69, then 58.
It's probably cost me the league. Like, I was top of the league and dropped the points there. And it's the same way. I think with the dilemma I've got just now is looking at my top 2 teams. So Edinburgh, I'm assuming, are going to be in bronze. And I've got Chadinelli and Wagner are my 2 main guys. And then I've got like Resende and maybe Demchuk, who's out on loan just now. So I've got them in the squad just now. But my problem with Daegu this season, who could very well be relegated tonight, by the way, like that's a big risk. But my problem with them is I've got a solid like Magoli centre backs and like CDMs. They're like 80 rated. Then my strikers are all like, I don't know, 76, 77. So now I'm thinking, do I have like Edinburgh have 4 quality strikers so I can rotate? And they're the only team that I really care about like doing well. But with Daegu, do I then bring in maybe like Demchuk, who I think is maybe 78 rated, and he's got like 90 pace and I don't know 80 odd shooting. He's a cracking striker. Do I use him in Daegu and make sure I'm upgraded there? And I think I've scored like 21 goals in 21 games or something this season for Daegu. They're just a bit shit up top. So like,
for a Stone side, that is a pretty solid Stone side. You've got like a few 80 rated players in there.
I know.
I'm top of the league or second top or something. I think I'm top at the moment, but guy behind me has a game in hand, which is playing tonight. And I don't think I've got anywhere near that strength side.
But this is Daegu, the masters of disappointment. And but the problem is, like, defense isn't that bad. Like, I don't think I really, or sometimes I lose badly, to be honest. But I changed my formation with him because in pre-season I couldn't get that working in the 3-5. Like you said earlier, actually, I got the 3-5-2B working in pre-season, but in season, oh my god, it's been a bit chaotic. It's just sometimes it's a really good performance, sometimes it's just a disaster. So I did switch it up a wee bit up. I didn't switch up the formation, but I switched up my tactics a wee bit, and I went on a good winning run mid-season. And then it's just been a bit crap again. But I didn't have anyone really. Like, I didn't really have a striker that's as good as the rest of my squad. And
do you not like, because I find that, like, I think this season I've probably played 4-3-3-A, 4-3-3-D, 5-3-2, 3-5-2. I don't know, maybe 6 or 7 different formations, like all season for different team. Like, and I look at the opposition and what they're playing. The trouble with Sid is, you play so many different formations as well that you literally just threw me into like a death spiral when I played you, like in the cup. So I just didn't know what formation to do. But yeah, it is tough when you're sort of trying to figure your sort of teams out. So when you're building, like for next season, are you planning? I guess with Edinburgh and Daegu, it's tough because you don't know where they're going to be yet. But let's imagine that Daegu get relegated to bronze. Like, how many different formations would you be looking to play next season?
I usually have 3 that I can switch between, and it's 3-5-2, 4-1-2-1-2, and or 3-5-2-B, sorry, 4-1-2-1-2 wide, and 4-2-3-1. But the problem is when I'm like, I like having that flexibility at the start, but actually I'm not a set and forget manager, but I'm a when I like a formation, I just like really love it. I just kind of stick with it and tweak. Like, the things that I tweak are more like the individual instructions and that kind of thing for each game, and depending on who's playing and depending on who I'm playing, rather than like changing the formation too much. So even though I have 3 that I can rotate between, I probably use one of them like 90% of the time. Then the other one's maybe like 1 or 2 games. I think I enjoy that a lot more. I think I do a lot better when I'm just kind of stick to what I know rather than kind of switching between formations. I don't know why. Like, when you're talking about like doing like 7 or 8 formations, it stresses me. Like, I can't imagine having that many kind of formations to try and master. I like kind of just setting like 4-1-2-1-2 is my favorite, I think, and I've done well with it. Like, I've not done well with it because I'm not a really successful season. But when I've done well, it's been that I've been kind of using, and I really wish I'd got with Daegu mid-season. I really wish what I'd done is strengthened it. So I got in like my 81 rated CDM. I moved him there, and a couple of others upgraded. What I should have done is got a couple of fullbacks in, so I could get away from the 3-5-2-B and just, even if it's like, get 2 fullbacks in, and then every couple of games I'll play 3-5-2-B instead of every game, because I've got 0 flexibility there, rather than having like a wee bit. So I'd probably have 3 formations that I can go between, but really it's 1 that I love, then 2 that, like 4-2-3-1 I've found quite good when I'm playing. Like, I mean, tonight I was thinking about playing it, because when I'm playing like the high quality teams, 4-2-3-1 has worked quite well, and it's really just trying to hit on the counter attack, just take a pummeling in terms of shots on target and stuff like that. That doesn't matter, and then just try and make sure my quality is there when I'm getting up top, and that's worked quite well. But when it's like my Livingston team that are kind of almost an OP team in Spark, it's kind of like, I don't know, it doesn't really work with them. I don't know if it's just because I should be attacking rather than try to contain. I should actually just be going up, and like the 4-1-2-1-2 is quite an attacking one for me. But 3-5-2-B, I wish I'd just ditched it mid-season.
Have you, Sid? I think you're partial occasionally to a bit 3-5-2-B, aren't you? Have you been using it much this season? Have you had much success with it?
Probably a couple of games. I mean, we'll just talk plat for this, right? So I'm completely opposite to Hoodwink's approach here. So I like to keep my options open. And the reason for signing this right back was he could play right wing back as well. So currently, one of the setups that I couldn't move into was 5 at the back. And this acquisition kind of gives me the option to go 5 at the back. So 5-4-1, 5-3-2, 5-2-3, you name it. So basically, it gives me options to play any formation in the game. 3-5-2 specifically has given me a lot of success, both the block version and the flat version as well. But I find it a little more open to counters, especially if you're playing against a fast winger or a couple of fast center forwards. And if you're playing a high line with 3-5-2, then it is suicidal. You'll probably end up conceding 4-5 goals in no time. So again, it depends on the opponent. It depends on their trend of what kind of tactics they play with. So yeah, I try to do a little bit of homework when it comes to looking at the opponent's team, study their last 3 to 4 games at least to see if there's any kind of pattern with which what setup they may roll out. If it is consistent, then it makes the job a little bit more easier. But if it is someone who's rolling out again 5-6 different setups, then it's basically trying to outguess or outsmart your opponent at that point.
Yeah, I've not had much success against you doing that. I think we both ended up on the same formation actually in that cup match.
3-5-2, yeah.
Yeah, but I guess that's sort of going away from it. Like once the season starts, the reason I like to have like a lot of flexibility with the formations, I like to be able to run several formations, is because once the season starts, like the engine gets going, you don't really know what's going to happen, like with the actual teams or with the formations, what's going to work really well, really, until the season gets going completely. Now, I definitely do some early testing. I know a lot of people do testing, and I think that sometimes they can be a bit misleading if you're sort of playing teams where they haven't got player instructions set up, or, it can be a little bit sort of misleading. But I do like to do sort of pre-season testing. Like Hoodwink, you're exactly the same, aren't you? Probably more so than me. You hammer out the friendlies during the day. Like, do you find that the work you do on pre-season friendlies carries into the main season, or do you think that like you have to leave it really late until the engine is sort of finalized, and even then, like, you don't know?
Sorry, on you go.
Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, like, I've not done any testing this so far on the new one, but normally I do hundreds, and like, and I do so well in them, and I come up against so many good teams, and I smash like the good teams, and I'm so like confident in the formation and the tactics that, and even though I always tell myself it doesn't matter like about the results and stuff like that, but always go into the season with fully confidence, think I've mastered it. And it's always like the first game of the season, I'll get like a draw against a team like, like you just should have smashed and that kind of thing. And that straight away, I'm like, right, what do I need to tinker? Because usually I just play them because I want to get like a styly play rather than like wins and stuff like that. But the wins just give you that fake confidence and just, I don't know, like it's not a waste of time. But every season I do it, like say I play 100 games for like now until, what's it, the 3rd of September, the league starts. But like I'd go in feeling confident, and straight away, like if I lose a game or I draw a game or something, I'm like, right, was that a waste of time, or was it worth like all that time to kind of try and get used to it? But I do think it's definitely worth it. But
I think part of the issue with running friendlies sort of pre-season is you don't know whether the guys have got like individual settings set up. You don't know whether they've got their sort of like players, they like often when I set up my default settings, I put players in like I'm not going to use. So if people play friendlies against me, they, have no idea what formation I'm going to play. I think most of my teams, like the default setting is set to 4-2-4. I think I've played 4-2-4 once this season, or so I try and throw people off that way. And I think that when you're sort of doing friendlies against people, even if you come up against the formation you want, you don't know whether they've got the individual settings set up. And, we know that they make an impact on the game and the team instructions and everything. So it is difficult sort of trying to judge, especially like, I've played around with the new engine, just to have a look at it really more than anything else. I'm definitely not taking any sort of information from it yet. I guess and middle towards the end of next week, I'll start doing a little bit more serious testing and looking at, and chatting to people about what might work and what might not work. But I guess like the fundamental problem most managers have is you buy players and those players play in certain formations. So unless you've got loads of teams where you can switch sort of players around, it is quite difficult sort of being flexible. It's like easy to say like, 4-3-3 attacking is working well, but if you haven't got any wingers in your agency and you've got 4 teams, then, it's tough doing that. So I guess that sort of, circles back to like transfer business. I've started getting a couple of players in for next season, mostly sort of old keepers at the moment, but I am on the lookout for other stuff. Sid, you've been doing business in the last week. Like, Sid, do you try and sort of build players now that you think you're going to need for next season? And are you then going out and targeting those sort of players? I mean, obviously you are because you've bought 3, but is that something you do every season?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I do look for specific profiles, especially when it comes to plat. So I try to run a condensed squad, so 16 to 17 members at most, so that you can maximize the XP for all the players you got in the squad, and it enables you to roll out different setups as well. So I was looking last window specifically looking for someone who can play both CM and RM. And again, there aren't many options around the 88, 89 to 90 rated players with that kind of profile. So I again identify some of these gaps well ahead of time. So it doesn't really put me under pressure to go and acquire a specific player within the next week or a couple of weeks time. So it gives me enough time to be on the lookout for any kind of listings that may come along, or try to negotiate with one of the players that's been recently packed, probably from a starter pack like yesterday, which we've never had the
I
luck
saw
of
the guy.
packing.
Someone packed a legendary, didn't they, out of like their first ever starter pack? But must be
Exactly.
nice.
Yeah, so that's the thought process. And again, I mean, when it comes to some of these players, it's very difficult to get a reasonable price purely because there's really no baseline or comparison. So if I'm trying to get a 90, 91 rated striker, there's probably like 4 or 5 sales over the last year with all different price points, right? So how could you put the right kind of evaluation on such a player? So it definitely takes time to zero in on the profile and the position that I'm looking for. But yeah, it's been going well though. I mean, I think with the current setup that I have with these couple of acquisitions, it should get me through for the next 3 to 4 seasons. But again, I've been telling that myself for the last couple of seasons as well. So we'll see how things turn out.
And do you always look for players that have a little bit of time left in them, or do you, like for me, I go out and I buy older guys as sort of like plasters to sort of fit holes. Occasionally, you sort of need like, like I need a striker. I can't afford to spend $1,000 on a striker, so I came to you and we agreed a deal for Colin last season. I bought a keeper, like a legendary keeper, for $150 the season before because he was on the verge of retiring. Although, like, he didn't have the icon. Unfortunately, he did get the icon, but I've had him for 3 seasons for $150. So sometimes I go out there and look for guys that won't necessarily do a job for me long term, but will help me right now. Do you look at it that way as well, or you more sort of like build for the future?
Absolutely, that way. I try to have a balance between acquiring the players who are in their 30s or late 20s and trying to get some youngsters into. Uh, I believe so. I have this one player that I wanted to look into. So Black something balling again. Shout out to him. He purchased a player who is 92 rated. He was a striker. His name is Beckman. So if you look up his squad, you'll probably be able to pull him up. Uh, so he purchased him for a price which was pretty heavy during that time. I mean, I think he paid $999,000 for him, and this was for a 30-year-old striker. And I was thinking, why would you go out and spend so much on an older striker? Then he
Oh,
starts
this is the guy
progressing.
that's the progression beast, isn't he? Wasn't he bought from someone else? Okay, yeah, sure. No, that's not the one, is it?
Trading places. So yeah, I think McBride had a similar player who ended up progressing to a 91, 92. But Beckman, yeah, consistent progression into his 30s, and currently he is the best striker in game. One of the two best strikers in game. 97 rated ultimate.
That was
So
crazy. The season he went from rare to legendary, and then he plowed through like most of legendary in that one season. And this season he's been really sort of moving again, hasn't he? Sort of up to 97, as you just said. But wow.
yeah, seamlessly breezed past the tier J like it's nothing.
Yeah.
And I think he is like 6 face stats away from being a 99. That's amazing. I mean, for 999, when you get this kind of a striker, that is phenomenal. I mean, he could still have another 5-6 season utility at plat or diamond. So there's that. So it's, yeah, that's why I try to keep an open mind when going into the market. Definitely be on the lookout for players who have progressed steadily over the last few seasons. That's kind of a leading indicator when it comes to how their futures might hold in terms of progression. And if I look at players who barely moved, I try to shy away from them.
Yeah, no, it is tough, isn't it, with those sort of guys? The worst thing is like occasionally you'll buy a guy, like you'll look at a guy and you go, okay, he got +3 that season, he got +3 the next season. I'm going to buy him because therefore, like, I'm buying him cheaper for something that's going to be, and then he gets nothing again. Like it flatline.
Flat
The
line,
amount of
yeah.
times I buy cards and then they just flatline. But what about you, Hoodwink? Do you know, do you buy cards for like the progression, looking ahead for stuff like that? I mean, Beckman's obviously like an insane example, isn't it? I mean, like I remember Trading Places posting it on the, I think it was even in the Ramble Discord. He was in there and he posted it, and yeah, it was crazy. The sort of the guy. But when did he sell him? I think he sold him about there, didn't he? And then he didn't get much last season. That said, he still got 2. And then obviously again this season he's gone crazy. But
I do look at progression, but I don't buy people that for their progression. But I do get excited when I have someone that's like my Sean Carr that went up again today. He's went, I think, 65 to 73 in a season and a half. He was backed mid-season last season. So I get excited when I've got players like that. But I didn't really kind of look out for it when I'm buying, to be honest. But I didn't buy it like a high level, like that kind of level, or that kind of cash.
No, I think we're both in a similar boat, aren't we? Sort of like, you know, we have to be a little bit more circumspect with who we're sort of looking to buy, and rather than sort of like, you know, going gung ho and absolutely smashing it. And hopefully we get lucky with some of the ones. But
that's the thing. Like hoping you get the and like with Carr, and like I've got a couple of other guys, a couple of the guys that I packed, I think from my reward packs last season. What's the name? Farias and I can't remember. Left and right mid are like 19 and 22, and I was like, oh, they're like cracking picks, and I didn't really have a team between that I was playing like 70 to 75 rated, so I loaned them both out, and both of them are going up. Like every couple of days, I get like the one of the attributes going up, like every couple of days for them. And I'm just hoping the overalls kind of start going up as well. I love that. Like even if it's not just an obvious one, like Car's an obvious one where it's like everything's just going up, and the day you got 2 going up plus an overall. Whereas the ones where you see their name every day popping up, where it's like 1 or 2 wee stat increases every day, or maybe like 1 every couple of days, and they're just always noticeable. I like they ones, maybe like the slow burners.
Yeah, I'm just looking like one of the guys you bought, Sid, the other day, Mello. He's obviously on a bit of a heater, isn't he, progression-wise, and cracked through this season, like chewed through the legendary tier jail like it was nothing. So he got through that, but last season that was bonkers. He had a pretty decent spell as well. So I guess that's why you factor that into the price, don't you? Buy them.
Absolutely. I mean, there is definitely a progression premium for some of these players. You do get lucky with some of the picks, but I mean, most of these lads who have consistent +4s, +5s over the course of a couple of seasons or more, there's definitely a price associated with it. But again, I believe it's worth the risk, though. I don't know what's the exact percentage that the white paper signifies. I believe it is like 85-15 or 80-20 in terms of progressing during their prime age, and then the other 15 to 20% will be around the prime age. So I'm trying to look it up from that angle as well. So if he is 85 rated and he's progressed +15, I'm looking at a minimum of another +3 or +4. So it's definitely worth the risk. If he keeps moving, even better.
Yeah. I guess it's tough when you're factoring in. Do you factor in, so like we're building teams, or we will start building teams for next season. Do you factor in players that have got progression? Like I was thinking about this the other day, like for cups, if you've got one player that's strong out of position, like I've got Vito Coppola, who's, +10 as a right winger, and then we've got players, I put players in that same squad which I knew get decent progression, and we made it to the cup final and we won the cup final. So I think you really can build teams for the cup, can't you? Like, teams that, because you're going to get placed in a softer league for how strong your team could be down the line. Is that something you do? Because you've got a pretty good record in the cups.
That's definitely a learning for me. Haven't tried doing that actively thus far. I believe I had a couple of guys similar to that. One guy was an RM, and as an out of position striker, he was like +5. And this was early days. I mean, season 3, season 4. So I haven't actively started looking at those prospects yet. But again, that's a good learning to take for me over the next couple of seasons. I mean, cup wise, I think I have like couple of cup wins thus far, and that's pretty much it. This could be one of the
For some
reasons.
reason, I thought you were a lot strong. Like maybe it's because you won the Elite Cup. When you win that, like you're cup genius, aren't you? Full stop. But playing against some of the biggest guys in there, and you're playing against what division were you in when you won the Elites Cup?
I believe this was gold. So we did have some guys from plat compete as well. So it
Yeah,
was a mix of gold and plat.
that's pretty insane. But so let's say now, so rollover day comes around. When do you start building your teams? Like, will you start building them now, sending sort of pre-contracts, or are you more like, let the pack drop, let's open the rewards, let's look at everything, then I get like a blank canvas out and like, start distributing your players?
I
Or
think I'll start doing pre-agreement soon, purely because I don't want Black Lotus spamming my inbox with pre-agreement offers. so, so just go ahead and. But again, I mean, most of the squads they just pick themselves. I don't have a, a huge agency per se. There are few players here or there on the fringes that could be sent out on loan, but outside that, it mostly is straightforward for me.
yeah, that's interesting. What about you, Hoodwink? So I know that you've already started doing sort of pre-contracts, but obviously, if you get relegated or a team gets promoted, you just like wipe the slate clean and start again.
I did. I did last time when, or did I? No, I didn't last time because then I just smashed ice when Daegu got relegated. But I'm planning on, my plan hopefully is Livingston get promoted to ice, Daegu stay safe in stone, and I'm assuming Edinburgh will be bronze. So that's kind of where I've put my teams. If the I think if Daegu get relegated, I think like having 80 rated guys in ice is just a bit bonkers. So like I don't know.
You don't need 80 or 80 guys in ice, do you? I mean, like, unless you you deliberately, you have to get that team promoted because it's your local team. But
aye, so I'd probably downgrade them a wee bit if they do get relegated. The plan is for them to be in stone and actually be a bit, hopefully, be better next season. But that's why I'm trying to figure out what's the best way for my strikers, for example. Am I putting like Demchuk as like a 7? He'd be my best Daegu striker if I put him in. He's like 78 rated, and he'd be my main guy. And I think that could be the difference between them being just bang average like they are just now, and actually being a threat to other teams. But then it would mean my backup for Edinburgh. I suppose if Edinburgh are in bronze, it's not as big a deal, but it'd be maybe like a 76 or 77 rated kind of backup up there.
It's pretty insane that you got promoted with Edinburgh in the first place. I mean, that sort of like is some crazy achievement, really, isn't it? Because like I dropped down this season to bronze, and it's tough down there. You know, it's tough in some of those leagues. Like people are starting having legendaries now, and you know the power creep is real. You know, there's a lot of better cards now in sort of the. You know, so it's not a given that sort of like you're winning your league. I mean, I might not win my league, but
it was tough. It was tough though because it was in. I think the first season was in. Oh no, that was my first season, wasn't it? I went up straight away, back-to-back promotions.
Yeah.
But it was tough, and there's a lot of good managers and a lot of. See, I think Pokerfish that I beat to the league. I finished first. They finished second. He started off really well in this league, but he's had a shocking run of results as well. So he could be going back doing with me as well. So it is tough like that to get the promotion and then to try and stay there. It's tough. Never mind compete, to just try and stay there is really, really tough. And getting the loans in because there was a few Legos I got in, and Magoli's going to win the Golden Glove. He's been a star. That's Palmer's goalie.
I find getting loans in such hard work, like especially for the levels that you want when you're in the sort of the like higher division. Well, I say higher divisions, like you know, bronze and silver. I guess they are high to a lot of people, but they're not the highest division. But trying to get loans in is just hard work, especially when it's certain positions. Like, you know, I was desperately last time I got promoted, I was looking for a striker, just couldn't get one anywhere. Like, you know, eventually, like obviously I stumped up for it, but a season too late, and hopefully it'll be useful next season. But it's so difficult getting certain loans done.
I think the striker's the main problem for me in general now, actually, because like I've got loads. I think I've got quite a few uncommons. I've got like a decent amount that I'll do for like Livingston for a few seasons. It doesn't matter which league they're in. But when I'm up at like Daegu, I've got a couple of really low rated rares. And then Edinburgh are like, what have I got? 81 and 82 rated are my best guys. And they're good. And like their individual stats is more kind of what I look at rather than just overall. But it's hard. I think, I'm not saying I would have been safe, but I think if I got a striker in that was like a Lego striker, could have made a big difference. Because a lot of my games are really tight. I've never really had a hammer in. I think I've had a couple of games recently where I've had maybe like 2 or 3 against me, but the amount of games that have just been so close, like 0-0s and 1-0 defeats and that kind of thing, that if I had someone that just had that extra bit of quality as a striker, but you're right, it's so hard to kind of get someone like that. And I've been fine from other ones. Like I got a couple of centre backs, a CDM, right mid, a couple of fullbacks, and a goalie. They were all like fairly kind of straightforward, just either speaking to people or just sending offers. Like Dio is actually he's been really good with. I think I got a couple of loans for him, and it was just sending like quite competitive offers on loans, and he accepted them. So I've not found that tough. But strikers, like anyone I kind of DM'd or any offers I sent, were just rejected, and I think that could be my Achilles heel really for all my teams. Livingston are fine, but for Daegu and Edinburgh, that would be my main focus, I think, for both of them. Step up.
What about, I can actually, just before we go on, say hello to a couple of people in the live stream. Kodak was here earlier. Congratulations, Kodak. I think he won one of the cups yesterday, didn't he?
Huge win yesterday, yeah.
Yeah. Then we've got Hooligan Heritage says, have you guys found any stats a lot more important than other? I guess we probably need more information to answer that because it depends on the sort of the position. But yeah, I think stats in general over overalls, but then generally the overalls, like, if you're looking for a good player, the overall's going to be high anyway. But yeah, stats, are crucial. So don't just go out and buy like a, 65 rated centre back who's got, 5 pace or something like that just because he's 65. But like Hoodwink,
have you guys had any success with slower strikers with high shooting, like a 65 to 70 pace striker with like 95 shooting?
I have in lower divisions, but not in like, as soon as you get a bit higher, I think pace just makes so much difference, especially the way a lot of my teams are playing this season, like pace on the wings and pace up front. I've got a couple of strikers. I've only got one that's over 90 pace, but I've got a few that are sort of like 75 to 85. But yeah, I definitely for me. What about you?
I'm just looking. Most of mine are kind of over 75 for my main ones. Timmy Vaughan, 63 pace. Maybe that's where he's going wrong. Datsenko at 70 pace, right? He's got 82 shooting, 70 pace, 83 physical. I've always really liked him, but I don't know. He just doesn't smash. 6'2" as well. He's really good. He's like my physical guy with good physical and good shooting, but 70 pace is maybe it is just because that's a wee bit on the lower side that he's no kind of the smasher that I expect him to be.
It depends on the division, doesn't it? Like some divisions, it's not quite as important.
Like, my guys are all right for pace actually. Like I've not got anyone that's really slow apart from Timmy.
Yeah, we've got another question. NS. I don't know whether this is like a name to pronounce or NSSSN exclamation mark. Hey guys, is there any way to pre-check my possible player for opponent, or is it a randomized draw? It is not a randomized draw. There is a way to work it out. You'd need to know. I'd need to know your league and your team name, and I should be able to tell you who your potential opponents are. You could do it yourself as well, but I don't know. It's probably too long to sort of explain how to do it. And obviously, it depends on your sort of leagues and stuff. But yes, it is like predefined. You are sort of set into a certain flight. Right. So I guess sort of, in terms of sort of building squads, so, everything gets done sort of later in the window, or they, like I think a few of us have started sort of sending pre-contracts through. Sid, do you anticipate any more big signings for you? Or is the Web3 balance dry now after a massive splurge on SoRare and on here?
Yeah, I mean, I started getting something back from SoRare already. Nearly hit a podium. I was actually third yesterday. Just to wake up this morning and to find out I've been opted down to finish fourth in La Liga. So that's a bummer, but
is that
yeah,
rare?
That's in rare, correct? Yeah.
Yeah. Just hit the 5-week streak, and there you go, sorted.
Easy peasy, yeah.
Easy.
But I mean, to be honest, I thought the 5-week streak might be near impossible, but the lads did hit a score of like 535 yesterday. So it is definitely possible, at least to get those high scores. Just need to make sure you pick the right lineup against the right opponent. So we'll see. Fingers crossed.
Nice. What about, so it's Iron League 5 that the chap wants to find out. So Iron League 5, you are the Bergen Trolls. They are in second. You're not quite looked into second, but it's 5 and 6, isn't it? So you would be playing, as it stands, this side, hashtag 2136. So there you go. So you'd be playing the second team in League 6. So, but obviously that could change tonight because it's pretty close in their division and it's pretty close in your division. So that could all change around. But yeah, any interest in the playoffs for you guys? Hoodwink, I guess you could be in relegation playoffs if everything goes your way tonight. And which is your lowest team again?
I think Livingston will be playoffs unless the top team mucks up the night, but I don't think so.
Have you started resting like players now for the playoffs, or are you still going full bore?
Nah, I'm going to just go for it. Who do I play tonight? Bodo Banshees, where are they?
I so want to bring up my team for tonight, but Nathan might get a sneaky look and like crucify me from the formation I'm playing and like, counter me. But
I play second bottom of the league actually, so I will be rotating actually. I'm just hopefully no muck it up like I usually do. But I can't see. I think who do they play? Who did the top of the league play? They've got Politiers. Where are they? They play third in the league. You never know. That could be a tough one. They've got the best defence in the league, so maybe they get a 0-0 draw. I might just go for it, and just hopefully win the league. And then my dream is win the league with them, avoid relegation with Daegu, and I think I just need a draw for Daegu. And then it doesn't really matter about Edinburgh. Like it's nice. It's been fun being in silver. Like I love the challenge of being up there and just trying. Like it doesn't sound fun just trying to avoid relegation, but it's been really good fun coming up against mammoth teams and just when I get a result, even if I get like a 0-0 result or a 2-2 or something, like over the moon with it. But it doesn't matter if I get relegated. Then hopefully I'll be competitive again next season. But
well, I mean, I think you work in cycles, don't you? It's like for this season, a lot of my teams are going to get promoted or in promotion playoffs. And then last season, it was relegation. And then I guess next season, hopefully it's about survival more than winning championships. But, it works in roundabouts, doesn't it? But
that's the thing. Because if you get promoted, you're going to, well, depending on it. If you get promoted to a lower division, then we've probably got the squads to be able to just, instead of loaning players out, you're putting them in your team. But when you're in the higher ones and it's like, I've got promoted, right? I've not got, this is my best team. And, this is what I'm going with type thing. So it's really hard to kind of be competitive with just relying on progression and stuff like that. It's really just buying players or loaning players. So it's quite a tough kind of to go up and be competitive in the higher leagues straight away. So it's really just a relegation battle and try and survive.
But that's part of the fun of the game, isn't it? Like, you want to be winning championships, but it can be fun sort of like in relegation battles as well.
This has probably been my most fun season for Edinburgh being up there, even though it's like last season was great. Like winning the league was unbelievable for bronze, but in terms of like tactics and like strategy, it's been really good fun. Even getting the loans in, because I never loan players. That's the first time I've really loaned anyone in months probably, and getting them and trying to make sure that it's hard to get players in similar to what you need, similar to the way you want to play.
It can be, the higher up you go, the harder it gets, doesn't it?
It's quite restrictive. So it's been. I've really enjoyed that part. Like I've really enjoyed the whole lot of this actually. Even if I do get relegated, it's been, the challenge is fun rather than just going with emotions.
Yeah. Sid, if you get promoted, where would you expect to finish next season?
It's definitely going to be a tussle. Probably 7th or 8th is what I'm hoping for, and that's like the best case scenario. But it's going to be tough. I do think it's possible. I saw like a couple of teams which were roughly around the same rating, and they were fighting it out for the 6th to 8th spot. Jeez. So yeah, as long as I'm able to hold on, that's a win in itself.
I'm just looking at DFC Amsterdam, who are currently in, what was it, 7th or 8th? They're in 7th, and they've got like 7 or 8 ultimate players.
Sweet.
It's going to be fun, though, isn't it? But
yeah, it's definitely going to be fun. I mean, I did end up beating one of the diamond teams in my cup run this season around. So it's possible, but again, I mean, it depends on multiple factors, right? I mean, the players that I got in, are they going to continue steadily progressing? I got this center back lad, Clancy, who's just been flying. And even during the last week or so, when the progressions have been a bit slow, he still gained about +5, +6 on the face stats. So yeah, if he gets to a 94, 95, and if low again continues to fly, he could compete.
yeah, that's pretty beautiful. You got those 3 sort of overall upgrades within what looks like a couple of days. He's a pretty solid defender, isn't he? 80 pace, 99 defending now. Very nice. And as you said, he must be getting close to, if he's been getting stat increases, yeah, he's had a physical.
Got a physical and a passing, I believe, in the last 24 hours. So
yeah, he's had a few, hasn't he? So, yeah, he
Yeah.
must be getting close to sort of like potentially go maybe 1 defensive stat increase, and he goes up to 93.
Yeah, but he's maxed out on defense, though. That's
Oh shit! Yeah, no, 99. Yeah. I always find that painful because I don't know whether like, do you go into MFL info, player info, and like work out like what they need to do. Like I like going through the different things, but I don't know if anyone looked at it. I'd have to quick look on there earlier, and the site was like not down, but it said it was reloading or something like that. I don't know whether it's still going.
That month. You can't like you hit search and it.
Yeah,
No,
something new is
coming. Setting up data for the website may take some time.
Hopefully, it fixes it soon because it's quality there when you check the training and see what you need for the V extras, but not been able to use it for a while.
Yeah, I think, but it looks like he's getting something ready for next season. Talking of that, like MFL have been rolling out a few sort of upgrades this week. Obviously, we've got like just a few sort of cosmetic changes within sort of like the way things are laid out. One thing, one sort of like bugbear I always had was when you want to sort of like go to like the cup, and this may have been here for ages. I might be about to sound like a complete spanner. I always had to go down and click on that to bring up the thing. Now you can switch between the league tables. I'm hoping that's new. Otherwise, I'm just been an absolute spoon. Had you noticed that before, Hoodwink?
What bit? Sorry, if you're going to. Oh, aye, that's new then.
That's new for sure.
Yeah, and I thought it was new, but yeah, that really I like. And I love when you're in matches and stuff like that. Now they're like, you get the little things like for fouls and the player images pop up and like all new graphics now and everything in the player names. I haven't noticed anything else, but it does feel like maybe they're going to be like loading up the new site for next season. I don't know whether that's just something I'm sort of imagining in or how close it is to actually putting it live. But I imagine later this week, we'll get an announcement of the things that are coming for next season, won't we?
Probably, aye.
And obviously, at the moment, we've already got the new tactical like thing, haven't we? Like within
for the friendlies, it's already up. I believe the aggression,
attacking tendency.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's quite an interesting one. I don't want to bring it up on them. Let's have a look on here. So tactics, team instructions. So within that, what's it called? Attack tendency. Have you guys had a play around with that yet in the experimental engine?
I've not yet, no.
No, maybe I'll have a look later. It's quite interesting. Like if you set all your players to attacking tendencies, do they literally all pile forward and like, you get absolutely destroyed on the counter attack? I'll have to have a look at that. People that are watching or listening, have any of you played around with that yet? Have any of you had some extreme results? I know the experimental engine is obviously a work in progress, and it was a a bit funky to start off with, but it's definitely sort of, they release as patches for it on a fairly regular basis. But I'd love to know that. I guess the last thing I wanted to speak about was about SoRare. Like, we've had a few murmurings of sort of not discontent, but people saying, oh, there's too many players now for the managers that are on there, and like lots of people are leaving to go back to SoRare. And yeah, I think that the SoRare community on MFL is a decent size, but there are other sides now, like NEP obviously brought in a lot of the FC24 crowd. Work the Space is bringing in a lot of the FM crowd. So they're not like, it's not an exclusively SoRare sort of like, MFL product. So when people sort of move across, it's going to be sort of quite interesting. And there are people sort of sending them off. And I think that this probably was expected. It was certainly expected by me, because when SoRare sort of launches the new season, people see the new sort of like exciting, like, the new cards and the prize pools and everything, and people want to sort of get involved. And people, most people don't have a limitless pot of money to go in and sort of buy their sort of players. So firstly, Hoodwink, did you expect that, a few people would sort of, sell up or sell a few cards to move back into SoRare? Was that something you think was fairly obvious that was going to happen?
I mean, SoRare have smashed it with the SoRare 26. So I think the amount of people that they've got back into the game, even like my main group chat that I've had for years, is buzzing again about SoRare. And a couple of them that have played MFL have said, right, they're getting there. I know one had definitely sold up. I think maybe one other one was thinking about like kind of either downgrading or selling to go back into SoRare, because SoRare was their main game. A lot of people, I think, would just play both. Like, I've had times where I know after I bought when I bought Doss's team, the Seattle one, I took we done a trade between like SoRare. I gave him SoRare players, he gave me the club. So that was me taking a bit extra from SoRare and putting it into MFL. And when I sold it, when I done something with Ericsson where I gave him some MFL players, he gave me some SoRare players. So going back and forth, and it like, I don't know, I didn't really see, like, if you're still playing both of them, it's not really kind of selling up or anything like that on either of them. It's kind of, I suppose, like Web3, on some games you can kind of have the luxury of doing that if it's kind of going between them. But I think the way SoRare is, people love it, and like the streaks and that kind of thing has brought a lot of excitement back for people that kind of maybe got a bit bored kind of in the last year or so. Like, I've loved SoRare anyway, so I've always played it. I'd actually never sell up on it. Like,
yeah, same. I sort of love it. I've always, I've played it for 5 years now, nearly, and sort of I don't see myself sort of selling up, and I just love the stuff. And yeah, I think that people's mentality is like boom or doom. Like, boom at the start of the season, doom, like, I don't know when it will kick in, but it will be some point after Christmas. People are about, oh, my car prices have all dropped to their worth bugger all, like, it's pointless continuing, blah blah blah. And then same, like, the 6 months later, when it comes to the new cards dropping, they'll be jumping in wanting to buy the new cards. And like, I completely agree with you. Like, they have put together a decent product for this year, and it is quite exciting. But I think for most people, it's not like MFL or SoRare. It's I'll play both, or I play that and I play other games. Sid, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, they've hit it out of the park with regards to the gameplay for this season for sure, especially with the streaks coming in. It depends on how they sustain this throughout the course of the season. I see them again rolling out promos. Maybe the 5x comes back November, December, when things start to slow down a little bit. But yeah, I don't see them as mutually exclusive, though. You could definitely play both, maybe on different scales. But yeah, I mean, depends on how SoRare keep the tempo up until the end of the season. And again, you have World Cup coming next summer too, so that's a major aspect as well. So if they do summer promo of World Cup cards, then it's probably going to keep going throughout the year. But again, I think it's with like individual interactions with the site, or how people are uh, either winning or losing a lot. It definitely leads to frustration and probably switching back and forth. I definitely want to keep level in terms of both MFL and SoRare, and don't want to be switching in between the two. Uh, but yeah,
I mean, both sites have knocked it out of the park over the last couple of months. Obviously,
oh yeah,
SoRare
100%.
with the 26 launch, and MFL with like the the move on to sort of real players, which I was sort of on the fence about, as a lot of people were. But now I just look at them and I think, yeah, I can't believe can't believe they used to be cartoon players. And yes, a few of my players, I look at them and I think, oh, I wish you were your cartoon player because you look so much cooler. But I'm used to it now. I haven't seen any mock-ups of the site design. I wasn't at the meetup, and I haven't spoke to the MFL guys like to find out what it looks like, because I just want to be surprised when it comes out. But I'm sure that it's going to be an absolutely brilliant site design as well when it launches, and I'm excited to see that. As I said, I don't have any inside information, but I've got a feeling that it might be close to launching. Just with some of the changes they're making to like the match like display as well, where you can see sort of like the new graphics and everything in there. Feels like they're getting ready to drop it. And as I said a minute ago, I'm pretty sure there'll be an announcement at some point this week about next season. But for me, like MFL, I joined in November last year. There was a lot of people that joined at the same time. Prices really shot up straight away. And then like MFL balanced it. They like increased the pack numbers and the prices came down, but they didn't like drop like a sledgehammer. And I guess my point is that Matt and the team and Yaks and all of the team, they're really good at balancing like the demand. So the pack drop, if there is less managers actively with clubs next season, I don't think there will be. I think it's more likely it'll be the same. Then they'll put a manageable pack drop in. They won't increase it. I expect numbers will increase again at some point during sort of the later on in the year, and then they will increase pack drops to meet demand. And I think sort of finding that balance is something they've been really good about since I've been playing the game. And prices go up based on performances and progression rather than demand. Now, there has been obviously a lot of users that joined. We had a massive growth spell, and that put a lot of pressure on sort of limited and uncommon and even commons as well. But I think prices have pretty much sort of like balanced out now. And if anything, I'm seeing more demand for my rare cards than I am for sort of the lower tiers now. But yeah, I think it'd be interesting to see what's coming up. I guess for next season, Sid, anything that you're expecting to drop or things you would love to see for next season?
I mean, UI wise, I would definitely love to see a dedicated trophy room, perhaps, where you could just go in and look at your agency and all the trophies in one place.
They are at the moment, I guess, aren't they? But it is sort of a scrollable bar. Like, I'd love to about it, as you just said, like click on a page and it brings up all the trophies. You can search by club, you can search by divisions or golden boots or whatever.
Yeah, definitely adds to the optics. And maybe, again, I mean, I'm just throwing this out there. Maybe if one of your strikers wins a golden boot, for instance, if he has a special card of sorts with a different design for that specific league, that'll be cool just for a season even. Again, optics wise, it makes it a lot more engaging and cooler, and it is rewarding as well for someone who had the golden boot for last season, gets a different card design just for the upcoming season. So yeah, those two changes I would really love to see.
Yeah, that'd be quite fun, wouldn't it? If for the next season they had like a little golden boot somewhere on the card or something like that. Just something to sort of, they stand out for the season. It shows that he was the king of whatever division he was in last season. But the trouble, like one thing I don't like is that when one of your players wins a trophy, it sort of sits in your cabinet. And I don't like it that if I loan a player out and they win a golden boot, that trophy comes to me. It feels like that trophy should go to the manager that won it. But I don't know. But Hoodwink, what about you? Anything you'd like to see for next season, or things you might, expecting to see for next season?
I don't know if we're going to get the kits. I really like that. I think it was you that said you didn't care about it, but I like having that, everyone in the same kit and that kind of thing. I hope that's
Yeah, it's one of those things, isn't it? I say I don't care about it, but as soon as they launch it, I'll spend probably hours trying to design kits for all my players. So
I love that kind of thing.
yeah, but
Club ownership and
does sound like that's quite close, isn't it? I think last week they said that everything was like final testing, and normally when they say that, things are ready to go. So you're right. I think the UI update or site redesign possible for next season, but the kit stuff sounds like that's imminent as well. But
there's been a lot of complaints about the match engine, but I've liked it this season.
I think if you lose, you hate the match engine. If you do well, then generally you like the match engine. You know,
I know.
I never really have any criticisms. Like last season when I was getting relegated, I got, what was it, like 6 red cards pretty much on the spin to like end the season for like Monkey Magic. It was against all the teams around me as well. I was getting them, so matches that I, potentially could have won. But for me, I hadn't had that many rare cards during this, like the previous 4 or 5 seasons. So it was just variance. That's just the luck of the draw, and I'm sure some people maybe would have taken to a Discord to let rip, saying everything's broken, like the engine must burn. But sometimes variance just bites you in the ass. And even if you've got the best team and you're better than everybody else in your league, that doesn't necessarily mean you're going to win every match.
You shouldn't.
Absolutely.
Hopefully, whatever updates they do for that, it makes more people happy and it keeps getting more realistic every season. But I've seen people fuming about it, so it's quite funny to see sometimes. But
yeah, they do. But anyway, right, I think that's everything for this week. Sid, thank you so much for joining us. You're based in New York, aren't you? So it's a pretty early start for you. Although you were telling me you've got some wee nippers, and maybe it wasn't an early start. Maybe this was late for you. But yeah, so I really appreciate listeners, if you're watching back or if you are watching live, if you would click subscribe and like, it would be really appreciated. I haven't quite set a target for the channel yet, but I think maybe 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year, across everything. It seems realistic, but for the moment, I just want to try and get some streams out without echoes. Although, today we asked the wrong person whether we had an echo, didn't we, at the start of the show? But anyway, we are live. We are pretty much on time, and we shall be back next week. I don't know who have we got sorted next week. Have we got a blank spot at the moment, Hoodwink? I can't remember what you're saying.
Blank space just now.
Yeah, I don't know what we're going to do yet, but maybe we'll do something on tactics, because that seems to be one that everybody always wants to speak about. So we'll have a think about who could be a good person. Obviously Kev would be great, but I don't know whether he's a bit busy at the moment with work. But anyway, thanks for joining us, Sid. Really appreciate it. And if people want to speak to you, I'm sure they can find you on Discord, can't they?
Absolutely. It was a pleasure to be on the pod chatting with them, chatting MFL with you guys. Yeah, feel free to hit me up on Discord and anything I can help out with, trading, tactics. I'll definitely be open for that.
And it's great face to the name. We speak to so many sort of faceless people in Discords and stuff like that. It's really nice to, see you and see that Raul like shirt behind. I assume that's Real Madrid shirt, is it?
That's his farewell jersey, which was signed by him as well.
Oh, I bet that's worth a pretty penny. But yeah. But yeah, thank you so much for joining us. Hoodwink, good to see you again, mate. And hopefully we can work out what's going on with your mic. Although your audio sounds okay to me this week. Like last week was a bit of a shit show. I don't know whether you've been letting Mark like swing around your mic and hitting it against stuff and like.
It could just be the cable. I don't know.
Yeah. Have a play around with it anyway. But yeah, you sound fine to me.
We'll see. But good luck tonight. There's some big games coming up. So
yeah. Good luck, Sid. Good luck, Hoodwink, with Edinburgh Castle. And I guess good luck me as well with Monkey Magic. Can I finally win the bronze title and go back up to silver? Fingers crossed. And good luck to everybody out there that has watched this. If you're watching it later, probably games have already happened. So I hope they went your way. If not, good luck tonight. See you later.
Ciao.
Bye.
Thank you.